All right, time for a book review. That's right. I do some book reviews on here, and as you can see or not see, I have what is this book? It is the Paranormal Ranger. Paranormal Ranger. And got this bad boy from the library. Good read. Not a very long read. What I like about it is that he has some pictures halfway through the book, some colored pictures. Really well done here. And what it is, this guy's a Navajo Ranger. And he kind of grew up in the reservations there, and I think in Arizona. And he talks about growing up and his experiences growing up with the paranormal and having these things happen to him. So there's a lot of apports, which are things that appear from nowhere, seemingly. He has this satanic book show up on I don't know, on a shelf somewhere in the room, and that's pretty crazy. And but he tossed that and burnt it. The kitchen, what do you call that? The kitchen Bunsen burners turned on by themselves. There's a whole bunch of weird stuff that happens in this book. And it's pretty much, he's got high credibility because he's a Navajo Ranger, though, and he's gone through all these experiences, taking out drug dealers, finding them, and just a lot of good practical, taking care of the bad guy stuff. And his life growing up and encountering all these paranormal events from skinwalkers. There's a skinwalker that follows him after he drops off an old man after seeing a drive-in movie, and it chases him, and it looks like this werewolf, basically a werewolf, but he drew a picture of it here. It's pretty creepy looking, straight out of a movie there. Though it's interesting that the way it's hunched, the knees and the legs and all that, and it's just hunched over like that. That's pretty surreal. But that's the skinwalker that was chasing him, and grinned at him while he was in the car, and it was keeping up with him. And he assumed that the old man that he dropped off in the middle of nowhere was this thing. So he gave the skinwalker a ride, but it still wanted to come and tear his throat out. You know, what a jerk. I mean, come on. He gave you a free ride. But anyway, this is the gray that was in his room. He doesn't go into that too much from what I remember, but it's cool that he can draw what he saw so well. So that's pretty good. And this is one of the Bigfoots that he ran into. It's pretty wild. It says, these are some of the creatures I witnessed firsthand. Clockwise from top left, first is Bigfoot, who appeared many times during my investigations. Pictured here as seen in the forest near Twin Buttes, New Mexico. Yeah, there's a lot. I think he grew up in either Arizona or New Mexico, one of those two. The second is gray alien I witnessed at the foot of my bed during my own close encounter in 2014. The black eyes, large head, small height, and long, slender arms are what stand out in my memory of this encounter, coupled with the memory of a nauseating rancid stench in the air. I've heard that about the grays, that they can smell kind of like burnt cheese. I've heard sulfur. I've also heard that. And then this depicts the skinwalker that chased my car down a dark road in Arizona in 1986. So he's watching Maximum Overdrive. It was a drive-in movie, which is a pretty fun movie to watch drive-in. Each of these incidents lasted only minutes, but the details of the encounters will be etched into my memory for the remainder of my life. So imagine going to see Maximum Overdrive, already pretty silly kind of horror movie about being chased by objects, by a truck basically with a Green Goblin mask on it. And then you give an old man a ride after that. And then on the way home, it turns into this, and it's chasing you during the night. And, you know, basically in the middle, almost, you know, you're in the desert, so it's probably a 2-lane road. It's creepy stuff, folks. Creepy stuff. So he goes into more things, apports. These coins just appeared out of the sky. He was inside investigating rooms, and these things would come flying down at him. Basic coins. And he said it would rain these once in a while in the same spot for hours. And it's pretty crazy. Of course, this is the... Let's see what this is here. A photograph from a Bigfoot case, along with taking regular photographs of evidence. We frequently took thermal photographs using a thermal camera and software in order to provide a reference between the temperature variations. This came at him, and it went into a, let's see, I'll read it here. A 12-inch butcher knife at my cousin Tony's house following the Window Rock haunting investigation. That haunting followed both of us home, manifesting with particular violence in Tony's home. This knife flew out of a butcher block, traveled several feet, and penetrated completely through a grapefruit hanging in a wire basket. And this is that's a pretty good reflection of a supposed ghost in the window here. Ghost face is reflected in a window during the Window Rock haunting case. It was unintentionally captured at the beginning of the investigation, when we took photos for later reference. We only discovered the face later on, and we determined that it did not belong to any of the investigators. Pretty creepy. Looks like it could be a American Indian. Let's see here. UFO photograph there. This is a large ship at Satan Butte in Arizona, in which witnesses repeatedly observed a UFO. It was described as a large ship shaped like a spade, with red lights going across and several tendrils of light extending from it. The lights appeared frequently and looked like teardrops moving towards the earth. Witnesses also experienced skinwalkers and other phenomena on their property. The photograph was verified by the Mutual UFO Network's investigators who assisted in the case, MUFON. This is a battery that was chucked at him. Computer battery out of nowhere. I don't think it just materialized, but it was thrown at him. This is him in the suit and all that. This guy here is a well-known investigator. You'll see in a lot of documentaries and History Channel stuff. Lieutenant John Dover, which is his partner. And around the time of his retirement in 2010, John and I worked together in an official capacity for about 12 years. 10 of those with the Special Projects Unit, under which we investigated paranormal cases. So he's kind of went into like the X-Files kind of realm, investigating this stuff. Bigfoot tracks. Supposedly Bigfoot hair. It's pretty funky looking. This is sent for lab analysis. The result returned as unknown carnivore. This was significant because the DNA database has animals from all over the world, so they should have been able to identify it, especially since the hair sample had tissue attached to the root end, which usually ensures a good DNA match. That's some funky hair. More pictures of him, you know, in training and on duty. It's a pretty wild story about him, I don't know, investigating somebody, and he goes under his truck or something like that, to sleep, and there's a dark figure that's like right next to him. It's pretty creepy. He's doing a stakeout, I think. This is his dad, pictures of his dad and all that. So in between these chapters, there's like Native American, I should say, Native American stories about the beginning of man, I guess, and where monsters come from. But it's all kind of using heavy symbolism, and it's hard to kind of put it in a way that makes sense, that isn't kind of abstract and cartoony. But it's interesting still. It's still pretty neat. So overall, I mean, it's not too long. It'll take you probably, if you're a medium to slow reader, such as I, it'll take you probably 3 weeks. Easily. If you're a faster reader, probably a week or 2. Comes out to, let's see here, 230 pages, more or less. And Stanley Milford Jr., that's the author. Graduated from the United States Indian Police Academy. Worked continuously as a sworn law enforcement officer over 23 years and served as a delegated chief Navajo Ranger for over 2 years. While with the Navajo Rangers, Stan oversaw a section called the Special Projects Unit, SPU. His responsibilities include investigating reports of the paranormal or supernatural. After leaving the Navajo Rangers, Stan served as a senior investigator for the Navajo Nation's White Collar Crime Unit. So pretty neat. Pretty neat. It's a fascinating read. And I kind of wish there was more. It goes into like there's a story in here that you might have or might not have heard about an old man seeing a UFO land in his backyard, and aliens come out and all that, and his dog goes out to investigate and never comes back. The dog ends up dying, you know, some kind of radiation poisoning or something along those lines. That story I've heard quite a bit. But it comes from this incident here. So it's fascinating. It's a good read. I gave it probably 9 out of 10. So there you go. There's my book review. You can get it at the library. You can get it at your local bookstore. Thanks for watching. Maybe I'll do some more book reviews as the more books I read. And maybe some comics as well. But a lot of my comics that I've read, I put them away already, but in storage. But thanks for watching. Hope you got something out of this. And keep reading. Keep watching movies. Keep reading comics. See you next time.